I wanted to raise my kids like my parents raised me. Just you can do anything. You have everything in you to be the person you need to be. God has a purpose for your life, and if you walk in it, everything will be taken care of. I didn't feel like I could teach my sons that and not be living it.
Welcome to the Mommy Actor Podcast. I am your host, Tara Strong Lyons, an actor, wife, a mom, and this show is giving you the real on what it's like being a mother and a creative. I started this podcast to start a conversation about what it is really like being a mother in the entertainment industry. But more so, being a woman, learning to navigate their dreams and goals along with society's expectations of you as a female. This episode features a bomb boss lady who never gave up on her dreams while aspiring to have the full life that she wants and deserves. Today, I have with me the incomparable, the multi-talented Miss Megan Piphus. This is the Mommy Actor Podcast.
Mommy!
Actor.
Mommy!
Actor.
Mommy!
Actor.
Megan Piphus is a 4-time Emmy-winning producer and artist who began performing at age 10. She gained national recognition as a ventriloquist on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno and America's Got Talent. Megan made history as the first Black female puppeteer on Sesame Street, where she performs as Gabrielle. Her TV appearances span globally, including Italy, Germany, and all across America, including The Kelly Clarkson Show, The Tamra Hall Show, and the legendary Showtime at the Apollo. In 2023, she released a children's album, Spaceships and Dreams, and was featured on Apple Music Kids' Best of 2023 list. In 2025, in partnership with the nonprofit organization Saving Our Daughters, Megan produced a children's album called Cinderella Suite, featuring over 60 elementary girls across the United States. Megan is also a published children's book author with a new book called Brave Like a Lion, currently available for pre-order. And last but certainly not least, she is a mother to 2 beautiful young boys, Leo and Tyson. Welcome to the chat, Miss Megan Piphus.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure. I'm so inspired by you. You're out here, you're killing it, you're doing your thing. I have one first question for you. Is there anything that you cannot do?
There's a lot of things I can't do. And thank you, Tara. You're so incredibly talented. So to hear and a leader, not just in what you do, but in a leader across into entertainment by bringing us all together and giving us spaces to share our experience. So you inspire me too. But
Here.
I can do a lot of things
Okay.
in one area.
I
So
love that.
like, I'm a creative, so I can come up with stories. I can do voices. I'm extremely uncoordinated. So any sport, anything that involves a ball, you saw me like just walking out the door. I tripped down the steps. So it's like there's a lot of things you do not want me near.
Girl.
But I'm grateful for the things I can do.
Yeah. And you know what? That's really cool that you say that, because it's all about finding our strengths. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we learn as like humans. Like, what are you good at? Like,
Yeah, I was the kid that was picked last for everything in recess and PE. I was that nerd. So
stop it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Where are you from?
Yes.
Where are you now? How long have you been here? And I'm asking a lot of questions. And do you plan to stay?
Okay, so I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. Went to Princeton High School. Grew up in Lincoln Heights, so it's my neighborhood in Cincinnati. And I moved to Nashville first for college. So I went to Vanderbilt for 4 years for undergrad and then a year for grad school. Moved away for 4 years to Texas, San Antonio, Texas. Hottest experience of my life. I melted. This Ohio girl. I came back to Nashville in 2019 and have been here since. I love Nashville. It feels like home. I do have family that's from Tennessee. My grandparents were from here and moved up to Cincinnati during the Great Migration. I think that's what it's called. Like in the 40s, the 50s, when a lot of Black people were moving out of the South for industrial factory opportunities. Yeah, Great Migration. Yeah. So both sides of my family moved up to Cincinnati, Dayton area. But yeah, they're originally from Tennessee, so it feels like home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's up. Okay, so as a creative in Nashville, like, because I know you travel a lot too, like, do you see yourself
Yes.
staying here?
As a creative, I'm really able to work anywhere,
Nice.
but I found most of my opportunities with me being a children's performer primarily on television
Mhm.
have been mostly either in LA or New York.
Okay.
And then I do performances at churches, different events, and those are usually outside the city. So I'm usually leaving town to work, but from a position of creating, I do get everything done here. Like my album, I completely recorded in Nashville outside of the times I brought in, the elementary school girls to record with us. We recorded in Atlanta, New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago.
So wait, so you flew them places?
No, I went to them.
Went to them.
Yeah, I
Okay,
went to
okay.
them.
Yeah.
And so we had girls from schools from each of those cities.
Mhm.
And so we went to them. But other than that, I do a lot of my studio work at home. And there's a studio I love here.
Mhm.
You went to that digital audio plus. Yeah.
Do ADR there, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shout out to them. That's my home studio for any kind of looping audio that I need to do. But yeah, it's a great place for me to work and create, but I do work a lot outside of the city.
That's good.
Yeah.
But I asked that question because I feel like a lot of actors in general feel like they have to either be in like a huge hub, like LA, New York, and Chicago and Atlanta.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so much that's coming here to Nashville.
That's true.
Over the last year, I've worked in Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, and Nashville.
Oh yeah, Atlanta too has a lot of opportunities. I haven't done any show. Actually, that's not true. I just did a production in Atlanta for Essence. They had a Christmas celebration, a live special. So I did that. I think that might have been one of my first recording opportunities in Atlanta. So that was really cool. Just be able to drive down and drive back up. But the culture has changed since the pandemic of being able to live anywhere. Because I remember before 2020, a lot of productions were like, they were either, oh, we'll try to see something happen once you move here, or you have to be here if you want to be considered for this.
Yes.
And so, and then I've even had people that were like, you just have to pretend you live here. You don't have to move, but pretend that you, pretend that you live here. But I've seen a lot change where they're okay with wherever you live as long as you're able to get it done. You're able to submit your audition. You're able to get there yourself and be available, which I can be available. So I'm grateful for that culture change. And I think it's, gives people more flexibility just for life, being able to be close to family. As a Midwesterner, California is really far from home.
It's so far.
Like the thought of ever moving out there is I immediately think of my parents.
Yeah.
So I'm, grateful for that change for anyone that has family that they want to be closer to outside of what they get to do,
100%.
for the work.
100%. Yeah. When I was in Los Angeles, like I missed so much. Like, I mean, we're sorority girls. So, there was so many weddings I missed, so much stuff. So it is a blessing to be able to kind of tape. But I will say, I do say that I'm local often.
Yes. Like, it helps, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I said that in Atlanta. I said that in New York.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's this balance in the, as a production, whether we care if you're from here, like you can get here on time, or there's like tax deductions or whatever about you like actually being in that state.
Yeah.
Or do we just not want to pay for you to be, from outside? We don't have to pay for you to fly in and do all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I understand. Oh, I've had people flat out tell me, you're great, but you're going to have to be here if you even want like a background assist, kind of if you want to be thought of as an option, we need to think you're here. And I think I was already written off from that because they knew I had kids. And that was very unfortunate. Like that was one of the scenarios where I really faced I don't know, it's sexism. The sexism of, oh, because you're a mom. Like I even got the face, you're a mom. Yeah. I know it's hard. Someone literally pulled me in a corner and it was like, this is really hard to do as a mom. I just wanted to let you know.
Like give up, basically.
Yes. At the beginning, it was like a 3-week workshop to be considered for this this show. And she was like, yeah, it's just want you to know it's really hard to do this as a mom, but I'm really glad you're here.
Wow.
And so I'm like oh my
coming,
God,
but
so I'm like, I'm gonna have to really work
out
to show you I'm serious and that I can work and have kids at the same time.
So let's get into that conversation because obviously that's why we're here. I want to inspire not just mothers, but women who want to be mothers and want to be in this industry, but also the real about it. Like, yeah, you're going to get people that are like, no, it's not going to work out. And you're going to have to say, okay, is it not?
Yeah.
Or, no, I'm going to make it happen.
Right.
And so first, let's talk about like, why did you decide, when did you fall in love with performing?
So I've been a performer, I would say, since I was little. Like I loved, any toy microphone I would grab and put on a show for my parents and any guests that came along. And my dad is a pastor, and my mom also a co-pastor with him, and he's a singing pastor. So I got to see him basically on stage.
Nice.
Every Sunday, and sometimes more than Sundays, revivals, Bible studies, and he led the choirs. And so, not to say that ministry was a performance, but being able to see artwork on stage, gospel artists would fly into the church regularly. So I was constantly exposed to incredible people who were using their gifts and talents for God.
Nice.
And I mean, my dad's an incredible singer and pianist. And so I fell in love with not just performing, but using what God gives you to inspire people to really change their lives. Like when you say someone is doing life-changing work, I've literally seen people's life trajectories change through under my parents and their colleagues' leadership. One of my biggest memories growing up in Cincinnati, my dad started off at a church in our neighborhood, Lincoln Heights Missionary Baptist Church. And Lincoln Heights was a neighborhood. And I didn't know this. I had such a wonderful life growing up in church. I was kind of sheltered from everything that was going on. But my neighborhood was having a really hard time. Like we were making national news for violence, for trafficking, for police corruption, really horrible situation. And he started this this organization called, I think it was called Project Nehemiah, and they would literally walk through the streets and minister to people and get them to come to the church. And there are now ministers that are part of his current church that were part of that outreach. And so that's the background that I have in using what you have to reach people and change their lives. So with that kind of background and mission behind me, it's like, of course I want to do this. Of course I'm inspired by it. And so I was actually just thinking of my dad yesterday. I'm like, I need to reach out and tell him thank you for, leading by example. And they were parents at the time when they were doing this, and it was risky. Like there was a point where he was asked to testify in court and had to decide, how am I going to protect my family and do the outreach that I want to do and that God has called me to do. And so, I'm grateful for having people that led by example. But my dad gave me opportunities to perform in the church and sing.
So that was started early.
Yeah, it started early.
And you also had your parents to show you how to do it.
I was praise dancing. You probably were too.
Girl,
yes, praise dancing, the children's choir. And then when I was 10 years old, there was a lady who taught Vacation Bible School with puppets. And she used puppets, but she wasn't really trained or anything. And so she found this conference called the International Festival of Christian Puppetry and Ventriloquism, and it was churches from all over the world that would come to the conference and learn how to do puppetry as a team. And so she got a group of us together. It was like all preteens and teenagers, so it was almost like a summer camp situation, and we were exposed to all kinds of puppetry. And I fell in love with ventriloquism. I was super shy, and there were these women ventriloquists who performed in the evenings of the conference, and they would sing and tell stories and have these like adorable characters that were funny, and I immediately knew I want to do that. And so I didn't get to specifically take any ventriloquism classes at that conference, But as soon as I got home, I told my mom, I was like, I want to be a ventriloquist.
Girl, and you stuck with it.
Yes. And
Yes.
surprisingly, she wasn't like, that's creepy. No, she helped me find a toy puppet and VHS tapes on how to do ventriloquism, and I never stopped.
Love that. Love that. Okay. So where in your journey, just period in life, did you decide I want to be a mom?
So I think I've always wanted to be a mom.
Mhm.
Like, I'm a girly girl. I had baby dolls, Barbies, all those things. So always had that natural spirit for wanting to take care of something. And I started babysitting really young. And I was thinking back, there was a lot of moms who trusted me really young, like being at church, a Bible study, or any kind of evening class. All the moms with toddlers would, just give their baby to me. I was like 7 or 8 years old. And yeah,
They knew your upbringing.
right. So I would take care of them for like 2 to 3 hours or so. And so I would have a little babysitting side hustle.
Nice.
I was pretty young. So I always imagined myself as a mom and pretend like they were my baby.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're grown now, which is crazy to see, like grown. I'm like, oh my God.
So here we got to talk. So like, I have to know more about that. So like, first of all, when did you become a mom? Like, how old were you?
Yeah.
And like, how did that affect your creative process
Yeah.
or your career as a creative?
I honestly wanted to delay having kids because I felt and heard, from other people that it would be more challenging and it would be harder to have a career once having children. And when I had my first son, I wasn't in the career that I wanted to be in. And so I really still dreamed of being in entertainment. I was working full-time in real estate finance and had an excellent job, super well paying, and I was getting promoted every year. But there was just something in me that didn't feel like I was really doing what I was supposed to be doing. Wasn't doing my purpose. And so I was hustling. I was performing on the weekends, traveling on the weekends. Like when I did all those international shows, I was working full time in real estate and using my PTO to go those places. And I was practicing early in the morning, late at night, submitting auditions.
And you had kids then?
No,
Okay, no.
not at this
Yeah,
point.
okay.
But at that point, I'm like, I kind of want to get settled in my career before having kids. But I decided to have my first child. And when I was pregnant, a lot of people told me we're like, everything's going to change. You're not going to be able to travel as much. It was a lot of well-meaning negativity, that, okay, well, you're going to have to stop now. You're going to be a mom, so you're not going to be able to do that anymore. And honestly, it made me more intense towards going for my dreams. And I think that needs to be shared for sure, is once you have a child, it gives you another level of purpose and drive to be successful, because you have someone looking to you for guidance, looking to you for a picture of what life should be and what it is. And I wanted to raise my kids like my parents raised me, which is you can do anything. You have everything in you to be the person you need to be. God has a purpose for your life, and if you walk in it, everything will be taken care of. I didn't feel like I could teach my sons that and not be living it.
Okay. I love that.
And that changed everything. I didn't just want to tell him to dream big. I wanted to do it for myself. I wanted to lead by example, just like my parents did. And so, I went harder after after I had Leo. Like Leo, I had him in 2018. I was working on a project with the University of Cincinnati then, a financial literacy project where we were bringing curriculum to life with songs and puppets. And so I was pregnant, writing all of the songs. And by the time we went into production, Leo was 7 or 8 months. And I packed him up to Cincinnati. My mom and my godmother helped take care of him while I was recording. And I ended up winning 4 Emmys from that. From that project. But my career really didn't start taking off until I had kids.
Okay,
So,
me too. Okay. I want to go back because you said so many like good gems, but I want to start first with that negative information that you were getting from people.
Yeah.
I want to be clear. It's true. It's true. And I want this podcast to be real, right?
Yeah.
Let's not say, oh, you have kids, it's going to be fine. Is it? No, it's hard.
It's hard.
It makes it harder. You're going to have to push.
Yeah.
But I love that you said that motivated you. Like after having kids, it was like,
I have more energy towards, I know you get less, there's times you get a little bit less sleep.
yes.
But I had to be more intentional with my time, far more intentional, because you have less hours that are for yourself.
Yes.
And so if you really want it, you have to find the time. Whereas, before I had kids, I didn't realize how much time I had and how much time I wasted
Yeah.
because I knew I could do it later.
Mm-hmm.
But with my kids, it's like, okay, I have 1 hour here. I have a 30-minute window here.
Mhm.
What am I going to use it for?
Yes, yes. And I love that because it also like helps you grow as a person.
That's
like
true.
you have to set boundaries with people. Like I can't come do that. Sorry, because I got to do this, and with my kids, and then I have to work on my business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it helps you grow that confidence.
And it quickly helps you find people that are aligned with that same purpose as well. Like it weeds out very quickly what your goals are, and if someone is going to be along for the ride with you, or they're going to try to stop you.
Yeah.
Because I've had very close people that were like, you should stop. Yeah.
Like just straight up or like,
yeah, it's like
stop.
some people said that you can not be there for your kids and do this. Yeah.
And you know what? We got to talk about that because there is a difference, right, between being a creative and being an entrepreneur.
That's
and
true.
being any other type of entrepreneur. Like if you're a doctor and, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that and be a mom, right? And you can start your own practice or a dentist or whatever. But if you're a creative, it's like,
It's hard for some people to understand, especially some that are used to very structured, traditional positions. It's hard to understand. But honestly, I have more time for my kids now than I would when I was working in real estate.
Yeah.
Just because I have more flexibility in my hours. And also because I'm doing what I love, I have, I think, more emotional capacity to be present.
Yes. I agree with all of that. Like, I feel that same way. Like, I pick my kids up, I drop them off.
Yeah.
I'm totally present as opposed to, I was working in real estate earlier last year.
Yeah.
And I'm like driving all over the city and, meeting up with my broker. And even though it wasn't like a job, 9-to-5 job, it still was like, oh, I'm tethered to somebody else's time and their business as opposed to my business and what I want to do. So I love that. So I want to talk more about specifically what you do, which is puppetry.
Mm-hmm.
And like there is a lot of rehearsal that goes with that, and like being ready and prepared for shows. Like, how do you find the time with 2 young kids to like focus?
It is really hard. I'm not going to lie. It is really hard. Like to the point where one of my New Year's resolutions this year was to practice for at least 30 minutes every day. I get a lot of practice unintentionally, like when I have to record a project or I'm doing something, and I record pretty often, and so I get those hours. But on weeks where I may be editing or working on another project that doesn't involve me performing, a week could go by and I haven't practiced. And I'm being honest, like I don't like that at all, or to admit that. But it's hard, and you have to. I think keeping a log helps you see your consistency. And so I've started keeping a log and realizing, okay, I missed this day and I missed this day. How can I prioritize in making space for it? And so one thing that's helped me is using different ways to rehearse. So I'm a puppeteer, but I'm also a singer, actress, and I can dance a little bit. And so I try giving myself grace in knowing, okay, if I practice this song, that counts as singing. Or if I do this voice, this for an hour, 30 minutes, this is practicing. And so giving myself a large room of space to play in has helped me kind of form that rehearsal time. Yeah. But I still haven't found my consistent daily time to practice. It
Which is
used to be,
great.
it used to
Nice.
be in the morning before the boys wake up, but sometimes I'll find myself up to like 3, 4 in the morning. It's hard to pop back up before they wake up at
Yeah.
7 or 8 o'clock to
Yeah.
practice. And so, yeah, I'm still trying to find that perfect balance and window, but rehearsal is extremely important. But it's not just what I've learned. It's not just rehearsal, but it's the quality of your rehearsal. So when I do practice, it's high quality because I don't just go through emotions. I record myself and I watch it back
Yeah.
and I do it over until it's to the level that I would be happy with watching. And I say that has been more beneficial than any consistent daily rehearsal that I've ever had. And also, another form of rehearsal that is really uncomfortable and hard to do, but is getting critique outside of yourself. And that is the times that I've grown the most
Yeah.
is by practicing in front of other people and not just practicing, but recording specifically only for their eyes for them to tear apart.
Yeah. So who is that? So real quick,
Yeah.
I just want to interject that I am the same. Like I hear
Yeah.
a lot of the things that you're saying. I'm like, I mean, I'm constantly doing self-tapes.
Yeah.
So, and I have to watch myself over and over again. But we as film and television auditioning actors, we just send our tapes off into the abyss.
Mhm.
And then we may hear something. We know they liked it if we booked it.
Right.
But if we're number 2, we may never know, right?
Yeah.
So how do you get feedback? Who do you send to?
Yeah. So one thing I love about the puppetry community, they're very extremely collaborative and willing to teach and to share skill and technique. And even in auditions, they feel like they're not really auditions. They feel like more like workshops. We're going to help you learn the skill and how well you're able to learn and adapt. And so that's the culture.
Okay.
But I was also part of Sesame Street's mentorship program before I became Gabrielle. And I was in the program over the pandemic. And so usually the workshops would be in person, but we did them over Zoom. And so we would send in weekly videos and as a group, critique them.
Wow.
It sounds like wow, but it's really hard to hear,
No,
critique
but
from-
you're so right. That's
Yeah.
like the best way. And actually, I'm trying to bring something to Metro Nashville, like the community centers or whatever, where we do self tapes.
Yeah,
In
that's
front
wonderful.
of each other. Like that's how I learned through a class at it's called Annie Grinley.
Okay.
She's a acting coach out in Los Angeles.
Oh,
but
nice. Okay.
she has this intensive for a week where literally that's all you do. You come in, may have like a 4 or 10 page script.
Yeah.
You have 30 minutes to
Wow.
get together. You go in, you tape with her.
Wow.
Everybody comes in, watches everybody's tape, and they give real-time feedback right there.
Yeah.
And then you go back and do it again.
Wow.
Literally
Well,
like
that's
9 to
excellent.
5.
That's where you find rapid growth. If you're not only just willing to hear it,
Mm-hmm.
but to work and implement it. So I would take furious notes, and then each time I sit down and practice, I'd check off one thing to practice, maybe just one thing a day off the list. And then by some point it becomes muscle memory.
Yeah.
But one thing I regret not doing is keeping a thorough journal of everything that I learned, even things that I knew I would remember at the time. I just wish I would have written it down so I would have a book of,
Okay.
lessons that I could share with someone else, Just looking back, I'm like, if someone ever asked me to lead a workshop, I'm like, I could have had it all down.
I mean, you have time for
Right,
that?
I know.
Too.
But like if I
Time
would have
is
just
so
at the
good.
end of every day just
Yeah.
write a paragraph or even bullet points
I
about
love
what I
it.
learned,
Yeah.
I wish I would have done that. So
Good.
young actresses, mommies, I would highly recommend just a journal so you can remember small moments.
Yeah. And maybe even scribble small moments with your kids in there too.
Yeah.
And I did this and Tyson was asleep or
Yes. No, really, it's important to have those journals of all the things that they say. Because you'll remember it that week, and it'll be the only thing you think about for a week, and then a year later you forgot what they said.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about your background and like what you went to school for, and again how you decided to make that transition into going in your creative space, like fully from that. So you have economics and finance degree from Vanderbilt, killing it, and you were fully in that in real estate. You were making great money. When did you decide, okay, you know what? I'm done, right? I'm done with this, because you already were a mom. Did you have both of your sons?
That's right.
Yeah, you did, because I came to your house.
Yeah.
When we had the conversation. Like what was the catalyst to say, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah. I had a lot of internal conflict. So I was in real estate finance for 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And I wanted to do something else. I mean, I was good at what I did, and it was very secure and stable, allowed me to flexibility to travel when I wanted, to buy, the things that I wanted. The lifestyle was okay. It was a lot of hours. There was times, most of the times it was kind of a 7 to 6 for me, from the time you leave your home to getting back home. And so, there's not much energy you have for other things outside of work, but I just felt something small in me knowing that I wanted to do more creatively.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I felt there was times I really felt like I had to hide what I did, and so I didn't talk about it very much. And there were coworkers that would find out and either be excited or give me the look like you're not serious about what you're doing, as if my job is supposed to be my life. I can have other hobbies out of life, and I think there's some people that appreciated that. They're like, oh yeah, this is what I like to do outside of work, and so it opens up that conversation. But in some ways, it can hinder you in showing that you. And it's sad. It shouldn't be like that. But
girl,
what I did learn is that most people, most of my bosses were supportive. They would secretly brag, because I don't think they knew whether I probably showed that I was uncomfortable talking about it, but would brag that, oh, she does this outside of work. But yeah, I felt a push and a desire to fully walk in being able to teach children with music and puppetry. And it was a lot of back and forth uncertainty, because the thought of leaving a 6-figure job and comfort for something you don't know if you'll have a regular paycheck or even a regular job, anything is, and then especially as a puppeteer too, there's a very
niche.
It's very, and so I would do auditions and just kind of see what happens, and I always told myself, God will give me a sign when He'll give me a sign. It'll be clear when it's time, or if it's meant to happen. Yeah. And in 2017, I submitted. This was before I had Leo and Tyson. Okay. I submitted an audition packet to the Jim Henson Company. Okay. And their website had their address and clearly said, "We are not accepting auditions." Okay. But if you want to sit in anyway, here's our address. And I sent it anyway. Nice. So I sent in this letter and a DVD reel of some clips over the years.
There's a lesson right there. Always be prepared. Never take no for an answer.
I didn't take no for it. I mean, that's the stubborn part of me.
No, yeah.
But yeah, I got the opportunity to work with the University of Cincinnati. That's while I was working in finance, and it was kind of over a break that I had when I moved from San Antonio to Tennessee. I changed jobs in real estate, so the summer between those two jobs, I did that project, and I started working in real estate development when I came here in Nashville, and it was really cool. Yeah, I had been on the investor side of real estate, and so I had a kind of high level touch to real estate itself. It was really towards the financial investment side. But when I moved here, it was actual construction, and we were working with the investors, and so it was interesting, and I liked it. I still wanted to be a performer, and I knew that if opportunity ever came out, I would want to try. But it was a career I was like, okay, kind of getting settled into, and was doing well. From a financial standpoint, it felt secure. And then in March of 2020, I got an email from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
One of the producers said, "Hey, we stopped production because of the pandemic. I came across your letter.
Wow.
I have access to the auditions at Jim Henson."
Wow.
Yes. And I had some extra time and was going through the submissions.
Okay.
And by the letter that you wrote, I don't even remember.
That was God.
I don't remember.
That was God.
He said, by the letter that you wrote, I think you would be interested in Sesame Street.
Yes.
Would you
the
be,
mentorship.
Yeah.
Nice.
Would you be willing to learn our style of puppetry?
Wow.
So it wasn't what
It was God. Like
Yes.
you said, you were like, God, just give me like a sign. And it was
Yes.
like, boop.
Yes. And so
Wow.
I just remembered the moment getting that email and screamings and excitement. And so I started training with Sesame Street then. And then, in June of 2020, the civil rights protests happened for George Floyd. And they wanted to bring in the character Gabrielle to speak on CNN Town Hall on racism. And that's when I auditioned for Gabrielle. And I've been playing her since. But I was still working full-time in real estate during all of this.
Wow.
And so
With 2 children.
with 2 kids.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I was pregnant while doing Gabrielle. So I did Gabrielle virtually from Nashville for about a year and a half. I was looping at Digital Audio Post.
Okay.
And my first time filming in person for Sesame Street was September of 2021.
Okay.
And so,
That's interesting.
yeah. And I was still working full time.
Wow.
So I told my boss, I was like, hey, I have an opportunity to record for I didn't tell him the name.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't want him to think that I'm like going to run off into the
Right.
sunset. So quick.
I do want to talk about that too, though, because like any job, like 9-to-5 job that I've ever had,
Yeah.
my last thing that I want to do is say that I'm an actor. Like literal last thing. If I'm interviewing for a job, I'm never talking about it. And like, I'm so much more free now. I'm like,
Yeah.
actor, look at me on TV. You know what I mean? But like back in the day, like that's not a thing. So even having bosses that were even the slightest bit
Yeah.
excited for you, motivated by you or whatever, inspired, that's a blessing, because a lot of my acting friends.
It's a balance though, because I have to be honest, because if you just search Google, I don't know. I think it depends on what you're applying for and the level that they want to dig
Yeah.
into you.
Yep.
Because I don't hide online that I'm a puppeteer.
Yeah.
And then I've also been doing it since I was 15, 16 years old. So there's videos that I didn't even post
Mm-hmm.
of me. So if you Google me, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
And so I just rather be honest up front and tell them,
Yeah.
because then they can have the opportunity to ask the question. It always came up in interviews. Where do you see that going for yourself?
Wow.
Because they want to know, like, how committed can you be?
Yeah.
And are you going to take off if someone calls?
Yeah.
And
And I
say,
am.
yes, I will.
My.
It's so funny. But yeah, so I was flying back and forth to New York until mid 2022.
Wow.
There was times I recorded a full season of Sesame Street. I wasn't required for every episode, so it was doable. But I did 13 episodes in 2022. I think that was season 53.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in 13 episodes. The beauty is that we recorded an episode in one day. So it was 13 days
Good. Yeah. That's
spread across 3 months.
yeah.
So I was usually gone for 1 to 2 days at a time, but there would be moments I would be done shooting at like 10 o'clock at night. I would fly out the next morning back to Nashville, get back to Nashville around 8 a.m. I was in my chair at work by 9.
Girl, what? So no sleep.
That was
Sleeping on a plane.
no. By the end of the season, I felt weird. Like I was getting dizzy, and I just felt like something was wrong. So I went to the doctor, and my doctor follows me on Instagram.
Stop it.
But like, weren't you just in? Right. So I was like, these are my symptoms. And she was like, girl,
You need to go to sleep.
you be busy. She's like, you sure you're not just tired? And I was like, well, I had some incidents happen while I was pregnant. I fainted with both kids.
Oh, wow.
Kind of scary. And so whenever I feel really tired, it's a similar feeling to how I felt before I was going to faint. And so I told her, I was like, I feel like I'm going to faint again. It's making me really anxious. And she was like, you might just be tired,
Yeah,
but I can
girl.
give you something for anxiety.
Yeah.
And so she gave me like a baby dose of like anxiety meds, and I realized I was depressed.
Oh.
Everything was, it was like the sunshine came out, and it was an eye opener for me that this isn't sustainable
Wow.
because you're doing too much.
Yeah.
You're tired. You're unsure of yourself in both situations because I'm new at Sesame Street.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And then I'm also trying to keep up with everything at work and also trying to be a mom.
Yeah. And we got to get back into that because that's what we're here for, mom,
Yes.
actor. How, like, everything you were just saying, like, all of that, it's like, where was mom in there? Like, where were even your kids? Like, that, this is tough. Where were they?
Yeah. So luckily I had help. My ex at the time, he was home and he was in the city. He didn't travel for work, and his mother would come and help him while I was gone.
Okay.
But I was usually only gone for 1 to 2
Like you
days
said,
at a time, and there were a couple of times I was able to bring them with me.
Nice.
But yeah, and then they're also in daycare and schools during the day. But yeah, it was challenging.
No, that's good for people to know because, you know, there is school, there's grandparents, and, you know.
And even if he wasn't able to, my mom would have came into town to help. So I have a community of people for sure. But they were also at an age where it was easier.
Mm-hmm.
So Leo was around 3, Tyson was 1.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or almost, he was about 1.5. So they were, you know, a little bit easier to play.
Yeah.
And then also they're used to me traveling.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I think we can normalize that mommies can travel. Because dads travel for work. There's a lot of dads for travel work, and they are never asked who's taking care of you.
No.
Never asked that. And I understand for a mom, it's a genuine question, like, because we want to be the primary person and taking care of and loving and being, and you know how kids are with their mommies, but it is completely okay, and my kids have handled it very well. My first time that was away from Tyson for a long period of time was for a workshop for puppetry, and that was 2 weeks.
Okay.
But I came home during the weekend between.
Nice.
And he was about 8 months then. And I had a family member that asked me, she was like, how can you as a mother leave your child for that long? But honestly, that was a life-changing workshop for me. It exploded my skill and then also introduced me to people that I'm probably going to work with for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was going to be worth it. And all of a sudden, his mommy, he knows his mommy still loves him. He'll be very happy to see me, but it also expands, I think, their emotional capacity, stability, because it allows them to accept other people into their community that they can be safe with. So I think that's important for kids to have people in their life they feel safe with outside of their parents. And so my kids are honestly, now that they're 7 and 5, they're proud of what I do. And they ask me they're like, when are you going back to New York? And they're old enough now to ask they want to come with me. A lot of times it's not possible all the time, but they're really proud. And I think that's important for them to see.
It is important. And, you know, at the end of the day, you have a life too.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like it's this mom guilt where it's like, no, but I'm a mom and I made them and I'm responsible for them. And, you know, they need me, you know, and it's like, but wait a minute, you have a journey too. Like you have a legacy just for you, and you should. Like that, you shouldn't feel guilty about that. And
but mom guilt is real. Like I had to go through like therapy for mom guilt. For real. Yeah, it was bad. I had a little bit of postpartum anxiety and depression with both kids, and really during the pandemic for sure, because I lived off of feedback and being around people, and then when you don't have that anymore, you have to find it internally. And so girl.
So I want to make sure that we get this question in because I know that me and you have, you know, talked about what it's like being a wife, not just as a mom, but, you know, being a wife with someone that you had kids with.
Yeah.
And then being supportive of your creative life, especially when you take that transition from one career to another.
Yeah.
So I know now you just got engaged.
Yes.
So you're engaged, not married yet, right?
Not married. Well, the wedding is in July. Yes.
That's me and my daughter's month. We get with our birthdays.
Okay.
So anyway, if I'm not invited, I'm just gonna
no, you don't
jump in there. No, I'm just playing.
Chicago.
I'm just playing. But anyway, so you just got engaged. Your husband, your fiance is
I call him my husband.
Girl, listen. But your fiance is a creative, but your ex-husband was a doctor.
Yeah.
Which was great.
Yeah.
What was that like? What is it and because we've never really had a deep conversation about this. How supportive, how not supportive, and what is the difference now?
It is so important as not just a creative, but any relationship to be equally yoked. And I got married when I was 22. I don't think I really understood what that meant, or had the depth and experience to look for it. But I was very upfront in our relationship of who I wanted to be, where I knew where I was going and what I was doing in economics and finance, but I was clear about what my true dreams were. And it seemed like he was supportive of that. But when it actually came time to make the decision to take the leap of faith, and at the time, it was a leap. So I things weren't going well at work. It was back and forth. I didn't know if I was doing well one day or if I was a superstar, if I was being demoted. It was all over the place. And I knew it wasn't sustainable for me to do both anymore, Sesame Street and real estate. And so I thought, okay, it may not even be a problem. Let me just talk to one of the producers to even see if Gabrielle is going to be in much of the next season. And so I called and they said, oh, we're actually glad that you asked because you're going to be a core performer.
Wow.
And we're extending your contract and you're going to be in every episode of the next season.
Wow.
And so it's like, oh, this is God and I have to make a decision now. And it became extremely clear, like my work environment, it wasn't going well. And it was so smooth before, but everything was like, I didn't know what was going to be next. It was up and down. And I didn't have any gigs coming up. So this is in August of 2022. Sesame Street season doesn't start till February of the next year. And so there would be a large gap of work. And so I just felt God, like you have to take the leap of faith. You just have to leave.
Yeah.
And so I left and my boss was like, what are you going to do? And I'm like, write children's stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was like,
So what was that like at home? Like, did you ask?
It was bad.
Did you have a conversation first? Like,
I did.
Okay.
And I thought we were on the same page that when a clear sign comes, it's going to be time to leave. And he agreed, oh yeah, that's a clear sign. But after I tried leaving, my boss was like, and he was a great boss. I don't want to put him out there or anything, but he was like, you can't leave. You're going to make $1 million next year. And I'm like, I was a financial analyst. I know the numbers. It wasn't possible. Maybe over time I could have made $1 million, but in 1 year, in that year, it wasn't. And so I knew it was like, you're just trying to keep me. And so my ex believed him. It was like, you'd be crazy for leaving. Like, what are you thinking? La da da. And so I'm talking to all my family and friends about my situation because this is life changing. And he's like, you're listening to your friends. They're wanting you to quit your job, all this stuff. I'm like, okay. So I decided, we agreed for me to submit my resignation and submit my resignation. He was upset for like 2 months. And so it was a leap of faith, but it was all God because literally the week after I submitted my resignation, the story went viral that I was the first Black woman puppeteer on Sesame Street. I became the first Black woman puppeteer on Sesame Street the year prior.
Yeah.
That was old news to me.
Yeah.
But once I decided to fully lean into purpose and what God told me to do, it exploded. It was the story was literally out of control. I didn't have a publicist. Sesame Street's public relations department was overwhelmed because they were like, we weren't planning for any of this. We're going to have to say no to this. We're going to have to spread this out and do this. It was literally
like appearances and stuff that people wanted for you. Wow.
Everyone was calling for interviews, and like we had to turn down a lot.
I have chills.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like,
It exploded.
God.
I got a call from a manager. He was like, hey, I saw this article in the Washington Post, because I was in the Washington Post too. And he's like, I wonder your website doesn't look like you have a manager, which I think is crazy.
And I was going to ask you that next after we got into, I want to know about your reps. But
yeah.
So how did your husband at the time, how did he, like, okay, I put my resignation in, you're mad, but now this is viral. Like, how did he respond to any?
He was like, okay, I kind of see, you know, it was faith, and you just had to lean into it. And I think that was just kind of the slow start of it not being aligned, because when it actually came time for the Sesame Street season, it was like, you're not a stable mom, and
Oh, wow.
because you're doing this. And I kind of let it roll off of my back until I talked to my sister, and she said, Megan, that's not okay. And I'm like, okay, yeah. But then there just became a lot of resentment, I think, in the fact that I was able to live in my dreams, and then also had more flexibility, had more time with my kids. I was happier. But the part where it's important to be equally yoked, our values weren't the same. My idea of a fulfilled life is, and I know this is going to sound really sunshine and rainbows, but it is impacting the world and living in purpose, following God, loving my family and my community. There are some people whose goals are to make a lot of money, and to have the biggest house, the biggest car, the title, the 6-figure job, or the biggest bank, or the best resume.
Yeah.
And it became very clear we weren't aligned at all. And in a sad way, I realized that as I got more opportunities, he wasn't happy for me, and was actually encouraging me to go backwards to real estate.
Stop it.
Not lying.
After being a viral performer,
After making history and
making history, it's like,
you would rather me have stability and be home.
okay.
Yeah. And so that was, there was a lot of other things going on, but it just slowly fell apart, and I realized I needed to leave. And it was to the point where I felt God. And Tara, when I tell you, people I didn't know were coming up to me and telling me details of my relationship and why it was time to move on.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah. Wow.
Prophetic words. Like, it was just, and it's hard to say, when you think of biblically what a marriage is, of it being necessary to leave. But for me to be, and this is what I had to tell my kids, is for me to be the mommy that I can be to you, and who I need to be as a person, it can't be with your dad. It has a very honest conversation. And as they get older, it'll be clear to them, and they'll see it. My oldest is already kind of, sees it now, why mommy is very different.
Yes.
And so I'm really happy that they'll get to see me live in freedom and not live someone else's life. And that's also something that I thought of, is I would never want them to make that sacrifice of themselves for their kids. Because, a lot of people, they go stay together for the kids. I don't want my kids to sacrifice who they are and who they should be and what they're meant to do just for the sake of being in the same household, because you can still be a wonderful parent.
Yeah.
A wonderful parent and co-parent.
Love it. I love it.
But speaking of my relationship now, we are incredibly equally yoked. He is the most, not the most supportive partner, but person, but the most supportive person in my life.
Wow.
Like, I've never received more support from anyone in my entire life. Like, he's upset if I'm not doing my best. He's like, I know you can do better, and pushes me more than anyone, and not in a highly critical way, but in like pulling out
Love
excellence and greatness. Yeah, motivated, but he'll spend hours. And it also helps. We're in the same field.
Yeah.
He's a Grammy Award winning producer.
Sir the Baptist.
Sir the Baptist. Yeah, Grammy Award winning producer and artist. But he's also like a genius he has an ad agency background with marketing and branding and just like he's incredibly talented in a lot of different ways. So he'll literally spend hours with me in finding what is, and that's how we've come up with Sunday school. So I've always felt the purpose to share God's love through puppetry and ventriloquism. But when we got together, he's really sees that he's like, Megan, everything's going to change when you focus on God, like when you focus this on ministry. And it was maybe like a year or so of just talking about it, but we actually started doing it this year.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, people are so excited to talk about Jesus with puppets. I'm really, really excited.
Okay, so let's talk about that, and I want to ask another question too before we talk about it. So, right now you are branded as a children's performer, which but now you're adding on that religious part.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Well, it doesn't really feel add-on because I started in the church. Yeah. And most of my performances growing up were at churches.
Yeah.
And spaces that, even if it wasn't in a church, spaces where gospel was welcome, and that would, open the event with prayer, where people share testimonies, even if it wasn't a faith-centered event. So I've never, and I don't know if I want to coin it as a word, but I've never been a closeted Christian.
Okay.
And I talk about God wherever I go, even in secular spaces. And when I could be at a corporate event or keynote speech or whatever, and I will talk about how I learned in church and why faith is important to me. So it's never been separate from me, but as far as content where God is the center and focus,
love it.
It's going to be the first series. I've done a lot of videos I've uploaded that are in church. I'm talking about God, that kind of thing, but where the purpose is to teach Christian values, it's gonna be
love it. Okay, so let's get into it. So it's called Sunday School. It's gonna air on YouTube, right? On January 18th.
Yeah.
And what is it? Tell us about it.
So Sunday School is live action puppet show featuring myself. I'm a Sunday school teacher with my grandmother, Big Mama.
Oh, nice.
Big Mama's a puppet.
Okay.
And she has early onset dementia. So I help her through the things that she. Hey, the dementia's not funny. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not. But I know you. And I know this is about to be
she's a Black grandmother. And I help her teach the Sunday school class to my other puppet friends, Baby Junebug and Minnie, and we have songs and Bible stories, and there will be a curriculum outside of the show that lives that Sunday school teachers can use to teach.
Wow! So you're gonna market that to church?
Yeah. Make it easier. Let's all have something cultural to use.
I love it. And I love that because, as creatives, we don't think about the business part, right? That kind of comes later. Yeah. And so, as a mom, it has to motivate you because I do have kids. I got kids. I got to pay bills. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true. You can't just do it.
No, you can't just do it. And so having your supportive partner who also understands marketing and understands how to turn your passion into a business is so important.
Oh, yeah. It's beautiful. And I'm just so thankful to God that He introduced us to each other. It truly feels like destiny, just a sweet way, and we're blending families. It's been beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about or share?
I'm just so thankful. Thanks for having me on this podcast. I hope it opens the window for so many beautiful, real conversations of just getting through life and balancing being a mom.
Yes. So if there was one piece of advice that you could give to a woman out there who maybe she's young, maybe she's not young, maybe she's in her mid-30s and she's been pushing, and she's like, you know what, I think I want to have kids. What would it be?
I would say there's never a perfect time. So if you feel the desire to try, I think that's your decision and your decision only. Don't let anyone push you. That should be something that you do in your timing. But if you do decide to be a mom, it is the most rewarding and fulfilling aspect and experience of my life.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Well, Megan, I want to say I know you are a busy woman. Thank you so much for coming. Your story is so important, and it's really going to touch
I hope so.
other women.
Yeah.
Because you took a huge leap of faith multiple times. I mean, even deciding, okay, this is not my aligned relationship.
Yes.
This is not my aligned career. I'm making all this money, but, and I got these kids I got to take care of, and it's working out. I'm going to say it's working out, girl, because you are not stopping. You're killing it. Thank you so much for coming here. Okay, so I cannot wait to have my girls check out Sunday School. Y'all check out Sunday School coming to YouTube on January 18th, and it's going to be on your YouTube channel.
Yeah, my YouTube channel.
What's it called?
Megan Piphus. It's just my name.
Just Megan Piphus. It's easy. Megan Piphus. We're going to put it right there so you can see her name. You can spell it. Don't spell it wrong. You won't find it. Okay, y'all. Well, thank you so much again for tuning in to the Mommy Actor Podcast. Every single week, I'm going to be bringing you different moms who are actors, who have the audacity to dream. Special thanks to Alicia Bailey, Des Perry, and the whole crew at Moment of Creation Studio for helping produce this podcast. And in affiliation with SAG-AFTRA, this is the Mommy Actor Podcast. See you next time. Thank you. That was so good.